Championship Sunday getting closer by the second. With that said, welcome to NFL Total Access presented by Dodge with the two Hall of Famers, Terrell Davis and Rod Woodson.
You said three Hall of Famers before.
Well, it's junior college. Hall of Fame. It doesn't really count. We'll strike that from the record, but we'll bring that up as the show progresses. I'm just Cole Wright. We're hours away from Week 20 getting underway. 4 teams, 2 games, one specific goal in mind. Do whatever it takes to get to Atlanta. And when it comes to that schedule on Championship Sunday, here's how tomorrow is going to look. So if you have plans, if you have a child's softball game, anything that may fall as a little bit more important, you may want to cancel it because these games right here, it's as good as it gets. Sunday. It starts with the Rams and the Saints, and then the nightcap, of course, the Patriots squaring off with the number 1 seeded Kansas City Chiefs. So now let's make the move to Kansas City where our guys are on the ground. Mike Giardi, James Palmer giving us the goods ahead of kickoff.
If it looks like the Patriots are playing a different brand of offense over the last month or so, you're correct. They're relying more on 21 personnel. In fact, running that personnel package more than any team in the National Football League. And it's allowed them to run the ball with power, be physical up front, but then also open up lanes and alleys and play action pass, in which they'll still pull guards and tackles like they're running the football, but then Brady ducks out of that pocket and he's hitting Rob Gronkowski or Julian Edelman over the linebacker and in front of the safety. It's led to a ton of big plays. Just go back to the Chargers game in the divisional round where Brady kept finding his soft spots in that zone. Because of this ability to do that, Brady says it's really opened up our entire playbook and it's given us an identity that maybe they didn't have prior to. Now for more on the Chiefs, here's James Palmer.
Thanks, Mike. Well, Patrick Mahomes tomorrow in the AFC Championship game feels like he'll be more prepared for the unscouted looks that Bill Belichick gives you than he was back in Week 6. He said, even if it's something I've never seen from the Patriots, I'll go and I'll look and say, hey, that's something I saw in Week 8 from this team. I know how to beat it. And that's one of the best things about Patrick Mahomes when I talk to people close to him is the mental side of what he's recognized this season and how quickly he's seen it. This week, Andy Reid said, what sets the great ones apart is vision, and that's what Patrick Mahomes has pre-snap, his ability to see everything across the field. And we'll see if Bill Belichick tries to take away Tyreek Hill. We know that the Patriots take away what you do best. They have prepared Tyreek Hill all week to be that guy.
Mike, James. Good stuff. Thank you very much. And when it comes to vision, Patrick Mahomes, he's got a fighter pilot vision. 2010, if you're taking it to the eye chart. Look at the completion percentage. 66 on the nose, just a skosh above Tom Brady. These numbers, very Brady-esque, but as we all know, Patrick Mahomes in just his first year as a starter. So, TD, taking a look at Patrick Mahomes, 50 touchdowns this year, 5,000 plus yards. He's a dangerous player who can throw from any single arm slot at any given point in time, but that dangerous factor certainly creeps up a notch when he starts to improvise.
Yes, and that's what makes him great because he can do that. And just like Brett Favre, right? Brett Favre was such a great quarterback because he can make every throw. In his mind, I'm going to make every single throw. There is not a window I can't fit that ball into, and that's what Patrick Mahomes is going through. He's very talented. He has a great arm talent. But when you watch him in some games, there are opportunities for the defense to intercept this man. And so watch on a play like this, you see Kelsey coming across the middle, and he's open right there. The in route is open, the 5-yard in route. But he wants to try to fit it into Travis Kelsey, and that should have been a pick right there. The Raiders didn't capitalize on that opportunity.
Who didn't capitalize?
The Raiders.
Okay.
I know.
Exactly.
But the other teams didn't either. But again, yeah, watch this play. So there's a chance to make a play. He's going to throw a ball where you can make a play on him. You have to finish it. Again, going into the red zone. This man out of the pocket. He's throwing passes sometimes not even looking at where he's going. But right here, this should have been picked off as well. So the Patriots will have an opportunity. That defense and the way they disguise a whole lot, he's played him once before. Belichick will have a plan to try to confuse him, disguise the defense. They will have a chance to pick off Patrick Mahomes.
Okay, now when it comes to defense, Kansas City, from their perspective, last week their pass rush was solid, Rod. Can they keep in stride, or did we talk about, like yesterday, is that a blip on the radar?
Well, you know, you look at Kansas City, and they've been porous all year long on defense. I mean, you know, stopping the run, you know, stopping the pass, scoring defense, but at home. When they play at home, their scoring defenses, they're only giving up 17.4. But it's going to be critical. The one thing they do well, they rush the quarterback. 55 total sacks, including the postseason. They got 3 against the unsackable quarterback in Andrew Luck. So, you think about Chris Jones. Chris Jones, 15.5 sacks on the year. You got D4, 13.5 sacks. You got Houston, he has 9 sacks. So Bob Sutton, his defensive front, they know Tom Brady, he's going to be 7 yards behind the center and the quarterback. He's not going to be moving. And he's been great at that in his whole career, but you have to make him uncomfortable in the pocket. It's going to be Chris Jones. Chris Jones is going to be a critical piece of the puzzle for them if they can get it done.
Kansas.
But you know what that the Patriots do really well? They use their running backs, whether it's in the passing game or they run the ball.
Yes,
so where the Chiefs are effective is when they got you behind the sticks. You know what I'm saying? When they got you, when you have to throw the football is when they can get after the quarterback. The Patriots won't be in that situation.
Kansas City hoping this shakes out in their favor.
It sounds like he's going with...
I will reveal later.
Reveal in the show. That's what we call a tease here in the business in Kansas City. Hoping for a victory in this one. It's their first AFC title tilt appearance since 1993. Now, as we said, that's the nightcap, the one that's getting the day started. That's the Rams as they make that trip in a rematch of Week 9, a game where they fell by a 10 spot to Drew Brees and company, and a home field advantage for Drew Brees and the Saints. Well, more times than not, it plays into their advantage, just like it did in 2009. So for more, let's check in with Steve Wyche and Jane Slater in the Big Easy ahead of tomorrow's kick.
Well, who would have thought that the Rams losing running back Todd Gurley to a knee injury for 2 games would have been a good thing? Well, in hindsight, coaches are saying now that it was. First off, it allowed them to sign running back C.J. Anderson, who over the past 3 games has rushed for more than 100 yards in each game. But it also gave Gurley time to get refreshed. And speaking to coaches this week, they said they could not tell that he actually had worn down because he played so well throughout the season, but because he took so many snaps, he actually did start to taper off. But now they've got that 1-2 combination of him and Anderson. Run game coordinator Aaron Cromer told me this week that if you go back and you watch tape of Gurley early in the season in games and practice, that is the same Todd Gurley you're seeing now. For more on the Saints, let's send it to Jane Slater.
Thanks, Steve. Despite a healthy front seven, Dallas had few answers when it came to slowing down Rams running back C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. The Saints are going to be without their starting defensive tackle Sheldon Rankins, and rookie Marcus Davenport told me losing him on the line, well, it hurts because he's an on-the-field coach for them. When you're missing your blocks, you don't feel like you're on your assignment. Rankins is there to help settle them in. Still, it was linebacker Demario Davis who told me, look, they're taking pride in what this defense has accomplished this year. Saints, well known for their offense and Drew Brees, they now consider themselves the Dennis Rodmans to his Michael Jordan. He tells his guys, we've got to get the ball back, we got to get the stops, we've got to get the turnovers. That's their mentality, and they hope that that will serve them in slowing down those guys like Anderson and Gurley.
Steve, Jane, thank you very much. And taking a look at the quarterback comparison, Jared Goff versus Drew Brees. Now, we know Drew Brees is going to pretty much Cupid shuffle right into Canton and the Professional Football Hall of Fame. And his numbers, well, they say so. But Jared Goff, his numbers just a little bit off when it comes to that comparing and contrasting night and day. But at the end of the day, both of them are going to play for a right to go to a Super Bowl. So we'll see how things come out. And when it comes to the Rams quarterback, Jared Goff, his numbers nowhere close to Drew Brees's, but he's still young. And in your opinion, why do you think he's going to be the difference maker in this game, TD?
Well, I think that offense is obviously Jared Goff being a quarterback. He's got to make some plays. You know, they have the 2 running backs that we know can really control the ground game, but their big plays come from Jared Goff, right? He's the one that's got to force that ball down the field. They're an explosive offense. When he's clean, when they've taken care of him in the pocket, they've won games. They've looked good. But the games that he's struggled and they've struggled, they've gotten to Jared Goff. And so if you can get to him and throw him off and make him uncomfortable and do what they're doing in these clips we're watching here, then that Rams offense, it seems to stagger. Now, McVay has changed the whole game plan up. Okay. He's been running the rock. They have been heavy.
You got Todd Gurley.
That's what they're protecting Jared Goff through that, which the play action passes come, the big players come out of that. So I think if they can continue doing what they're doing with the play action, running the ball, keeping him clean, it's going to be hard to stop the Rams.
Okay, that's the Hall of Fame perspective from this side of the table. When it comes to the Rams, how about we flip the coin just a little bit? Who's going to be the difference maker for you? I think you're going with the Saints?
I'm going with the Saints, and I'm going with Michael Thomas. They have to figure a way to stop this guy. I mean, last week he had seems like 2,500 yards in one game.
Exactly.
You know, but the first time they played, he had a big game, and then everybody was talking about Marcus Peters, but it comes down to this right here. They move him around. They do a really good job. And right here, they got a closet set, And we call this as a dagger. You got a deep in or deep number 2's running the guy vertical. Then number 1 is coming in, so he's running a dagger. He's running into that dead spot. You see that guy way outside?
I see him.
It's a guy they say one thing. You cannot cover grass. You can't just be out there covering nobody when Michael Thomas is running inside route. Again, he's over here. He's all by himself. Again, easy catch. He just runs a little dig route on the weak side. Again, closet route. He's going to set down he's really great at the top of the route. He sets the DB, gets it terrible coverage skills right there, but he runs a dig again. Easy throw and catch for Drew Brees. There has to be a way where you slow this guy down. This is the one thing that they have. When they throw the football, they're looking for 13. So if I'm rolling all my coverages to 13. I don't care if he's in the slot. We're rolling to him. We're making somebody else win this football game in the passing game.
Michael Thomas, Drew Brees, just a classic case of 2 Big Ten guys just throwing it around the yard, right, Rod?
Just Big Ten guys.
Just Big Ten cats.
What do you know about Big Ten guys?
Purdue.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, Purdue Boilermaker.
I like that love. I love that love.
That man right there, Rod Woodson and Drew Brees. And speaking of Big Ten Purdue Boilermaker quarterbacks, we're looking forward to that East-West Shrine game. And David Blau, he's going to be the man taking snaps right there. He's looking to get his boiler on right there, looking to lead his team to a victory. We'll see how things shake out. And this one leading you up to kickoff. He'll be trying to shore up a roster spot for himself as draft day nears. And speaking of nearing kickoff, it's getting closer right here, 3 o'clock Eastern time. Don't touch that dial. We're here every step of the way.
Let's go! They said we'll always be here. We'll always be in the playoffs. We don't know that.
I just ask y'all to play for something bigger. Play for something bigger than yourself today, man. Put it all on the line, baby. Let's light up the city tonight, man. Let's go.
Have a day, huh? Our best day of the year. We're going to win. We're going to win.
Sweep right side. Damian Williams cuts it back inside the 10. Inside the 5. Touchdown! 1 possession. 1 touchdown.
Let's go!
Give to Michelle, runs up the middle, turning forward, touchdown Patriots! 15, 10, 5, snowshoes, touchdown! The cheetah can run in the snow!
They put the cheetah in the snow.
Kyle's gonna get up there to eat the guard, so we're single there across the board.
Yep.
And he's gonna have the pass batted down. He's got another pass batted down.
Let's go!
I don't think Brady's been touched today. I mean, it's been close. I just haven't seen him he's not got knocked to the ground.
Stop throwing the ball so fast, Tom.
Hey! They can't stop us! They cannot stop us!
Holding it, pump faking, diving for the far front pylon. Does he have it? Touchdown! Mahomes runs it in.
It is an utter mismatch right now.
All night long. Like Lionel Richie, bro. All night long.
And the Pats remain unbeaten at home. Kansas City, here we come.
Let's go!
And Andy Reid's big red revival and Patrick Mahomes' revolution continues.
Anybody know what that is? That's right, 2 more, baby, 2 more.
Keep getting better each week and expect the competition to get better this week. All right, that's the way it is this time of year.
All right, let's have a glance at this, because if Tom Brady and Patrick Mahomes are he-men, then these 4 cats are their respective battle cats and Orko. James White and Rob Gronkowski, certainly security blankets for Tom Brady, and Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, very complimentary to Patrick Mahomes. So who's going to play a very important role come Sunday? We're going to find out that right about now, because when it comes to most important player that's not a quarterback, we just saw 4 guys, but you don't have to choose from them. Who's it going to be?
So the most important player not being a quarterback to me is going to be Gronkowski.
Okay.
And the reason I say that is because, listen, he hasn't played well this entire season. Injuries, we all know that. He looks like RoboCop walking, being around there. He looks horrible.
Yeah. He's some yoga.
But he still has, I mean, this is a 4-time first-team All-Pro. He's still Rob Gronkowski, right? He's still 6'4", 280 pounds. And in crucial situations, this is what playoff football is all about. It's about crucial downs, third downs, plays that keep drives going. He is still capable of doing that. I mean, last week, only 1 reception, 25 yards. Okay. He's due to have a breakout game. And in a big game like this one, and the stage that this is on, he, to me, is a guy that if you're trying to sit there, Edelman's your guy, James White, Sonny Michel, you're trying to bottle those guys up, Rob Gronkowski still demands a double team, still demands attention. And so you have to pay attention to Rob Gronkowski.
How about that? The best running back in the history of the postseason, giving some love to the best tight end in the history of the postseason, Rob Gronkowski, going hand in hand right there. How about you? Who's the most non-quarterback important player in this matchup?
I'm going to go Damian Williams because when you look at that last game, the New England Patriots dominated time of possession. And Damian Williams for the Kansas City Chiefs, look at that. That looks good right there. I mean, you need that repeat performance because you need Tom Brady to stay on the sideline. You need him. Look, he had 25 carries, 129 yards last week. And you got to have that repeat performance again to keep Tom Brady on the sideline. You got to take some of that pressure off that young quarterback and Pat Mahomes, who he thinks he can make every pass. Yes. And if you turn your head, if you're a DB, and they throw it to you, as Tony Dungy told me back in 1987, if you catch the ones that come to you, you'll lead the league. And guys have opportunities to catch them, but they don't. So you got to take that pressure off the young quarterback. Damian Williams is my guy for the Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah, and in 3 of his last 4 games, Damian Williams going over 120 yards from scrimmage, so he will certainly be a feather in the cap of Kansas City. Now, more to come. Back here on NFL Total Access, presented by Dodge, the 93rd East-West Shrine game. It's moments away, but time now to get familiar with Terry Godwin. Bucky Brooks with Scout's Eye. What's up, Buck?
Cole, everyone here is looking for a big-time playmaker. And I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Keep your eye on Terry Godwin, wide receiver from Georgia. He is an outstanding playmaker who's really been dominating throughout the week. Having watched this kid since he was in high school, he was a 5-star recruit, was the #1 athlete when he came out. When you watch him play, you see the speed, the explosiveness, the ability to separate. At Georgia, his last 2 seasons, he averaged over 17 yards per catch. He is a big-time playmaker, a guy that kind of reminds me of John Brown. If he shows out well this week, there are going to be a lot of scouts that are going back to the meeting rooms talking about another playmaker that they found at the East-West Shrine game.
Thank you, Bucky. Bucky looking awful fancy today with that blazer and tie on. But how about Daylon Mack says the Mack truck never gets old. Tune into the NFL Network today for the East-West Shrine game. You see he's got his shoulder pads, his helmet, and his spikes. Something tells me this man is ready to roll. And speaking of ready to roll, so is our Daniel Jeremiah, because his mock draft 1.0, it's hit the streets. And look, surprise, surprise, he has Nick Bosa going #1 overall. I think that may stand pat until draft day. But as we inch down the line, you see Josh Jacobs out of Alabama. Yeah, a lot of SEC cats there. And another SEC guy, Jeffrey Simmons, out of Mississippi State. Rod, you said some big-time expectations from him. And if
only 2 conferences left here.
You want to see a little bit more? Go to NFL.com/DJ Mock for the very latest.
There's 3 stages to this game. You play, you compete, and lethal.
Love it. Ain't never played this far in January, bro.
Are you guys fresh or what? You need to be a nightmare. You need to be a nightmare. Let's go.
Punt it. Run it. Fake it. Shark it. Let's go ahead.
Saints are going to fake it up the middle, and they're going to have a first down, and what a call. Sean Payton.
We just got to stop shooting ourselves in our own foot.
Gives to Anderson, cuts back to his right. He goes in. Yeah! Touchdown, LA!
2 spoons. 2 spoons.
We said we'd have 100 yards of rushing at halftime. We already do.
Let's go. Let's get them going here now. Put a drive together.
Breeze going to throw into the back corner of the end zone. Caught!
Touchdown!
Yeah, fellas, keep it going now. Keep wearing on, man. Keep wearing on.
What a job by the offensive line. A huge crease right down the middle of the field for Todd Gurley. And he takes it in for a touchdown.
Don't play with me. Hey. Don't play with me. That's the difference. Go. I'm going to wear them down. You take them home. That's the difference.
Let's do. Foles in the pocket, throws, and that ball's intercepted.
Yes! Yes! Yes!
Gives to Anderson, and he puts it in the paint. Touchdown, LA! C.J. Anderson.
We win as a team. That was a good team you guys played tonight, man. You put the champions out tonight in the 4-minute. You put them out tonight. How about the defense stopping the run for only 50 yards? Hey, you know about the offense? Rushing for 270.
Well, you know what they say in the postseason. You have a defense and a run game, then you can win games in that second season. And we know both the Saints and the Rams have a run game, and they have it in spades. Since Week 16, C.J. Anderson, he's been balling, as has Todd Gurley. And the Boudin brothers, Kamara and Ingram, well, they've been running the rock with a passion all year long. So it's going to be run heavy from both sides come Sunday. But when it comes to a tandem of backs, it's going to have the bigger day come Championship Sunday. Terrell Davis, as we said a little bit earlier, the most accomplished running back in the history of the postseason. Which group of backs do you think is going to be better?
Yes.
That's a nice ring to it, doesn't it? You like
yes, that sounds
Okay,
very good,
Nicole.
very much.
He already got a big head.
I'm trying to inflate it so next time we play golf, I'll just take him down. So.
This is hard. This is not an easy answer, but I'm going to lean towards the Rams duel here with C.J. Anderson and Todd Gurley. Because let's start with C.J. C.J. has been here before. When Denver went on their run to Super Bowl 50, C.J. was the catalyst, right? He was the back that really was the one that they couldn't throw the ball that well. And you watch C.J. and what he is, he's a downhill thumper. I call him a mudder. He can run in snow, mud. The conditions don't have to be right for him to get yards.
He's low to the ground.
Very low center of gravity, but he's like a little rolling, look like a bowling ball. So he gives you that thump. And what happens is when he's in a game, guess who's on the sideline resting up? Todd Gurley. So when Gurley comes in, I remember sitting on the sideline thinking, when Derek LaBelle and I were exchanging, when I'm on the sideline, I can come in the game and give it all I got now. I don't have to conserve energy. When Gurley's running plays like this downhill, the offensive line is moving people out the way, and he's breaking runs like this. You got Gurley, CJ, bam, bam, bam. Two guys, high energy, just wearing down a defense. I like that combination, especially the way they've been playing of late. CJ, since Week 16, has led the league in rushing. Todd Gurley was rested up. We saw what he did last week. That combination is lethal right now. So I'm going to go with those two.
Yeah, Gurley and Anderson, both hard to tackle. So, TD, he's going with the Rams. Rod, I presume that you're going with the Saints?
No, I had the Rams
and you slept on it.
And then I slept on it. And then I had 2 Coronas, a little lime, and I changed my mind because I looked at the game again. I watched I watched that old game in Week 9, and Kamara and Ingram, they were gashing that Rams defense. And if Kamara can be that guy again, now when he played the Dallas Cowboys and got hit on the sideline with Jalen Smith, he hasn't played the same. He hasn't been quite that same player, but I believe he will be that player because it's all or nothing. You got to win this game to go to play for the Lombardi Trophy. And Kamara, listen, they had 141 yards on the ground against them in Week 9, comparable to their 92. I know C.J. Anderson wasn't there. So, I like this football team because they can take some of the pressure off of Drew Brees taking the ball down the field. Kamara is a really good running back, and I think we've lost focus in how good he really is.
Yeah, Rod, our usual running buddy, MJD, not here today. We know he'd be taking the Rams side of the coin, but I might have to side with you on this one because the Saints, since 2006 in home playoff games, sparkling 6-0. Feeling good about that one? Sorry about that.
That don't mean it, but I said better.
Well, when it comes to the East-West Shrine game, kickoff, getting closer by the second.
We're going to be here every
step of the way. Trey Pipkins, he'll be holding it down on the O-line for the West. We'll see what he can bring to the table. Could be the next generation of Hall of Famers. East-West Shrine game, and speaking of our Andrew Siciliano, Daniel Jeremiah, and Bucky Brooks, they're on the scene. Andrew, what's the word, man?
You know, Cole, it is officially draft season. Bucky Brooks, Daniel Jeremiah, we are counting on the ride over here to Tropicana Field this morning. We are now 96 days away from the 2019 NFL Draft. This is the 94th East-West Shrine game. Who should we be looking at today, DJ?
Well, let's look at the quarterback position, and a couple intriguing names for me. David Blau from Purdue is an undersized player with outstanding anticipation and accuracy. Authored probably the biggest upset of the college football season over Ohio State there for the Purdue Boilermakers. And on the other side, you're going to see Brett Rippon, who's been a phenomenal player at Boise State, the only 3-time captain in the history of that program. And during the week of practice, he's been the most consistent passer of the group.
And the nephew, yes, if you were wondering at home, of former NFL and Super Bowl winning quarterback Mark Rippon. The Scout's Eye, Bucky, is on whom today?
We're looking at Justin Hollins. DJ's going to talk about quarterbacks. I'm going to talk about guys that can knock them down. Justin Hollins has been impressive throughout the week. You talk about a linebacker who has the size, the quickness, the athleticism to make plays off the edge. Even though he's been a stand-up linebacker here, he is a guy that is at his best with his hand in the dirt. And the D coordinator even said they may put him inside, let him be an inside pass rusher. Those are the things that you like to see. Had 13 sacks during his time at Oregon.
It is a very long path to the draft, but it begins right here, top of the hour. Aditi Kinkawala joins us as well. Cole.
Well, we've talked a lot about the 4 highest scoring offenses being the final 4 teams on Championship Sunday, but the defenses have performed pretty well, especially in the divisional round here. The Saints, Rams, and Chiefs gave up fewer points last weekend than they did during the regular season. Patriots ended up giving up 28 points, but we all know that was mostly garbage time against the Chargers when they dominated that game. We have former Super Bowl champion Sean O'Hara joining us right now. You've been breaking down video of the front 7 and the defensive line for the 4 remaining teams. We're going to put you to the task right now and rank these guys. We have them listed here alphabetically by nickname: Chiefs, Patriots, Saints, and Rams. Who's your 4th best defensive line?
Yeah, Scott, it's a quarterback-driven league, so you got to protect the quarterback and you got to get after him. All 4 of these teams do a good job of it, but with the 4th defense right now remaining in this championship week here, I'm going to go with the Patriots. They're the 4th best. Now, look, they do a great job of getting after the quarterback, but a lot of it is scheme-based, not necessarily because they've got big, flashy players. But Trey Flowers leads the team in sacks, right? 7.5 in the regular season. Look at him get pressure right here, get this sack on Rivers because of the twist game. So the scheme right there gets him open. Kyle Van Noy is the wild card for them. Is he a linebacker? Is he a rusher? I don't know. That down to down and distance to distance, that role changes. So Kyle Van Noy could be the X factor for the Patriots.
Interesting. 3rd best defensive line.
3rd best. This might surprise some people. When I wrote the list down, the Rams are coming in at number 3.
Wow.
Even though they have the most dominant defensive player in the league, complete game record in Aaron Donald. Here he is as a 3 technique, really more of a 4-eye when you look at how wide he is. But nobody runs the rim better than him and finishes these sacks off. When you look at what he did, led the league in pressures, but he didn't really get a whole lot from his supporting cast. That's why they're 3rd, right? Dante Fowler right here, you see him with the sack, the forced fumble right here. Only had 2 sacks in 8 games during the regular season. So you would think there would be more production opposite of Aaron Donald, given all the attention. So Aaron Donald, no doubt, no offensive lineman wants to block him. When you break the huddle, you find 99. But the reason why they're number 3 is because Ndamukong Suh, 2nd on the team, 4.5 sacks. Dante Fowler, just 2.
Okay, 2 is going to reveal 1 at the same time. So who's number 2?
Yeah, number 2, I've got the New Orleans Saints.
Ah, interesting.
All right. When you look at the Saints, obviously Sheldon Rankins being out is going to be a huge void for them. But Cam Jordan, I tell you what, he plays the run just as good as the pass, but his feet never stop, Scott. Every single time you stop his first move, he's got a counter move. There you see the spin move get home against Matt Ryan. But the guy that may have to step up is Marcus Davenport, the young rookie who missed 3 games because of a knee injury. But look at the power that the baby boy brings into the inside. Push that pocket right there. I like the Saints. They've got some other good players that could step up, but they've got some hybrid guys as well to get at the quarterback. Mario Davis, the linebacker, very underrated. But the Saints at number 2, which leaves us with the Chiefs.
There you go.
As the number 1 defensive line. Why are the Chiefs the number 1 defensive line? Well, let me show you. They've got the 3-headed monster. Let's start with D Ford on the outside. All right, he's the edge rusher. Look at him get home and create this forced fumble. This basically ended the game against the Colts. D Ford with that edge pressure. Now you move Justin Houston. He's kind of the wild card guy that can move inside. When you put him on a guard that's not used to the jump around guy, he's a handful in space. Now inside, the guy that we all know got snubbed for the Pro Bowl, Chris Jones, 15.5 sacks as a defensive tackle. Look at him run the rim just like Aaron Donald. He's a little bit bigger, a little bit more powerful, but the Chiefs, one of the reasons, Scott, why they're number 1, they led the league in forced fumbles. They had 23 of them. So that's something to watch for in this game. Tom Brady does a great job stepping up in that pocket, but sometimes all it takes is just a couple inches. If that ball's out there and that hand swipe comes down, that could be a big factor. And Chris Jones had 4 batted passes during the regular season, 3 of them in that game alone against the Colts.
And you know what stands out to me on your list? Home field advantage. It's going against an offensive line with a silent count, and silent count there, exactly a 1/10 of a second could make a great difference in trying to get to the quarterback.
Scott and Sean, 2 gentlemen with style, flash, and pizzazz. And speaking of, Microsoft is empowering you to pursue your passion for fashion and the chance to win a trip to this year's Super Bowl in Atlanta. Now here's the championship Sunday in the early game, Rams and Saints. The Rams, 813 win percentage on the road since 2017. Oh, by the way, that's the highest in the league. So forewarned is fair warned for the Saints. And in the nightcap, the Patriots looking for their 9th Super Bowl appearance since 2000. So Kansas City will certainly have their hands full. Both of these games must-see TV, no doubt about it. But TD, when it comes to a must-see matchup, it's jumping off the page to you, my man.
Well, for me, it's been the matchup we've been talking about all week long. Okay. That's Aqib Talib, Michael Thomas. I mean,
tuck your chains in.
Tuck it in. Mm-hmm. That's the one, because in that game, you talked about it earlier, Rod, Michael Thomas went off. And if they have any chance of winning this game, he cannot get off. And supposedly Aqib Talib is the nullifier. He's supposed to be the guy that can shut him down if Wade Phillips chooses to put him on him and make him travel with him in this game.
I hope he does.
So I do too. I really want to see this matchup. So to me, this matchup is whoever wins this matchup obviously is going to give their team a greater chance of winning it, because it's him and Kamara. Those two are their playmakers. Yep. You take him away, and they can contain Kamara, they got a really good chance of winning that game.
Well, Aqib Talib looking to show everybody that he's hoping to be the playmaker in this one, because last time those two teams crossed paths.
I did my picks yesterday, by the way.
Aqib Talib,
my pick'em show,
was not there. Now, when it comes to the must-see matchup that you want to see, Rod, what is it? What's the must-see matchup?
It's for me, it's Chris Jones in the interior front for the New England Patriots, because we know that Tom Brady is going to be 7 yards behind the center and guard every single passing down. And Chris Jones, 15.5 sacks for the defensive front. They play at 3-4. So he's in that 3 technique, 5 technique. So he's going to be on top of the guards and the centers. And what he did this year, we always talk about Aaron Donald, what he did, which is tremendous. And I always say he should be the MVP. But 15.5 sacks for the defensive, from the defensive tackle spot. Good. And then when you go from him, you got D Ford on the outside. So if he's not getting contained, somebody's getting contained. But I just think inside, the fastest way to get to Tom Brady is a straight line. He's going to be there.
Well, the defense, they like to score for Kansas City. And when it comes to scoring, Kansas City, they've scored 25 or more points in 17 straight games. That includes the playoffs. So this one is going to be a high-scoring affair. Now, what can you do? You can watch both conference championship games live right on your phone with the Yahoo Sports app and the NFL app. You won't want to miss out. What do? Go to the Play or the Apple Store and download it right about now. But in the meantime, we're inching closer to the East-West Shrine game right here on NFL Network. There's Jimmy Moreland, defensive back from James Madison. Speaking of Madison, Aditi Kinkawala caught up with a guy who went to school in Madison, Wisconsin. Troy Vincent talking about the importance of this East-West Shrine game.
Troy, it's been more than 25 years since you played in this game. At the time, you were already projected to be a top 5 pick. Why so important to play in an all-star game like this?
Well, after being 1-10, 2-9, 1-10 and 5-6, and I needed a vacation coming out of Madison. It was just, hey, I can play another game. Frankly, play against some of the guys who they say were either other All-Americans, Butkus winners, to see, okay, let me go and compete against what the country is saying are the best in the country at the collegiate level.
So when you talk to these kids about their experience this week, what do you want their number one takeaway to be?
Have fun. This is another opportunity for you, frankly, to show your skills. Here we have all assistant coaches coaching them, so you have the coaches that you'll see here in a few months at your mini camps after the draft. They're coaching you today, so here you get a chance to get an insight on what NFL practice is like, how it's structured, scheme-wise, what's the difference between college and pro. And then there's why we're all here at the Shriners Hospital, to get a chance to see what it's really all about, to look in the eyes of a young lady or young man and the families, the caretakers, the caregivers, and you really see hope. And football is just a byproduct after you do your hospital visit, and you see, and you think about how thankful and grateful we are to be in this position, to have functioning limbs, and then you go into a hospital and kids they're looking at you for hope. Never stood up before, can't walk, and they're looking for you for inspiration. It's a great week.
A great week it is, and we will get you there to opening kickoff in just a few minutes right here on NFL Network, 3 o'clock Eastern Time. Matt Gay kicked a 66-yarder in warm-ups, and John Harbaugh coming to terms on an extension. This coming from our NFL Network insider, Ian Rappaport. This is news that Rap Sheet has been reporting right here on NFL Network and NFL Total Access for quite some time now. The specifics of the deal still unknown, so be sure to keep it locked right here to NFL Network and NFL.com for the very latest on John Harbaugh and the Ravens, a team that finished 10-6 and fell to the Chargers in the postseason. In the meantime, top 10 conference championship plays. We're only going 10 through 6 because we need to come back and check things out a little bit later. And how about this?
Here we go.
Troy Brown. Hold on a second. running.
He go
quick.
Nobody can tell
quicker.
in black and gold?
No, I guess not.
Right. Our producer, Jen Koski, she was at that game. Of course, she was rooting for the Steelers. And how about Kurt Warner? Look at this, flinging it down the field. And the greatest show on turf, guys.
Yeah.
As good as Ricky Pro. You like that one?
Yep, that was it.
Well, let's see if 8 gets a little bit better because look at that one.
I remember this. I was in.
The classic drop back. Steelers cold. Rod, where you at, Rod?
Oh.
You in that mix right there?
Were you in there?
Yeah, I was
there. Bill Coward. That's 95. Patrick Mahomes was born in 1995. And how about the Falcons taking out the Vikings 30-27?
Oh, this was a beautiful kick. Beautiful kick. We did not want to play the Vikings.
Mr. Anderson.
Thank you, Atlanta.
Punching that one through the uprights. And then Russell Wilson taking out the Packers 28-22. Oh, making this one sing late in the game. And Green Bay Packer fans, sorry about that. I'm sure they remember this play well. Like we said, we're going to see 5 through 1 coming your way, 6 o'clock Eastern time after everything unfolds in the East-West Shrine game. And you see the man right there, Mr. Stick, looking to get his North Dakota State on. He could be the next Carson Wentz. We will see how he fares in this East-West Shrine game in just a few minutes. It's coming your way next right here on NFL Network. But yeah, we still have a little bit of time until we get to that kickoff. The East-West Shrine game wasn't around when you guys were playing, but you did play in some of those postseason exhibition games. TD, first things first. Which
I don't think anything was around when Rod came out of college. I don't think they had any.
I think they just threw rocks at each other. I don't think tried to dodge.
He asked you a question about your All-Star game.
Walk us down memory lane. Walk us down memory lane.
No, so I played in the blue-gray All-Star game. Okay, that was down in Montgomery, Alabama. I think what it does for a player is you get a chance to really see how you stack up because you watch these players all year long. You see the experts talk about how great they are, their rankings, where they're projected to go in the draft. And so I played in the All-Star game, and it was Curtis Martin that was in the same game as me. Okay. And Curtis was projected to be a third-round pick, and I was projected to go late or undrafted. So I was sizing up Curtis Martin for a long time, and he and I have been battling our whole careers, and it's been a friendly battle, but it was real fun down there. Got a chance to meet some coaches, understand how the pro game worked, the sort of the calls, the formations, just the way they went about their daily routine at practice is really insightful for me as a young player.
How'd you play in that game?
I was decent. I had like 3 carries. Nothing great, but
so Cole will be tossing to me.
I had no missed assignments, and I felt like I showed them that I could, that I could play on the next level.
So what I thought I showed. Rod, he said he had like 3 carries. He doesn't remember. Of course. He remembers that he had 3 carries.
I played in the Hula Bowl, so that was an All-Star game.
Nice.
And we went out there to Hawaii to enjoy ourselves. A little bit different than today's athletes where everything is suited to get into the NFL. But at the end of the day, my thing is what I got from is to still have fun. You've been playing this game since you've been a kid. It's a game that you know and you love. Don't let this type of situation be an All-Star game or going into the combine or getting on the football NFL team distract from what you love to do, and that's play football.
Don't let the bright lights in the big city of St. Pete and Tropicana Field get the best of you. We're going to come back at halftime. We're going to give you all the breakdown from the first half. That's what the Hall of Famers are here for. We're also going to take a look at Championship Sunday.